children of all ages. Welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright. We are days away from WrestleMania 35. We have the first ever women's main event for WrestleMania. I'm fine with the match. I'm fine with this match. Title versus title, winner take all. Honestly, you don't need two women's titles. So WWE, here's what you do. And I've said this before. You take the two titles you have now, you create one title. Women's World Title. You have the women's tag titles. Maybe create a women's TV title. That way you kind of got a mid-tier women's title. You get the world title, the mid-tier, like a US, IC, TV type of title, and then your tag titles. There you go. Three women's titles that you can go for. You have your tags like you've been doing, which has been pretty cool, I think. You have your mid-card, kind of as people make the main roster. As you have, women that aren't quite to the main event level, you give them like the TV title, IC title, and then etc. Alright, so with all the talk of this, I decided to go through all 34 WrestleMania main events, and I ranked them. I've watched every WrestleMania. So, to me, you really can't do best of Mania or best of whatever unless you've watched every show that you're talking about. I have. So, WrestleMania 34, watched them all. Every match. Some great. Some of them I just want to take a spike and just jam in my eye before the match got over. But, other than that, main events, same way. Alright, we're going to rank these bad boys. So, number 34. The worst main event in WrestleMania history. I would actually say these first three, you can do any order. I put number 34 as the first WrestleMania, where we had Hulk Hogan teaming up with Mr. T. Yeah, Mr. T. Versus Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff. It was watchable, but it didn't really. It made WrestleMania look like more of a star-studded thing versus a wrestling match, because you had Mr. T in it, which actually led to a boxing match at WrestleMania 2 between Mr. T and Roddy Piper. I bet y'all didn't know that, did ya? And so number 33 came from WrestleMania 2. WrestleMania 2 was, if you look at it today's standards, it was retarded because it was in 3 cities. You literally had a show in New York, a show in Chicago, and a show in LA. It'd be almost impossible these days to get crowds of those kind of shows. The main event was a steel cage match, Hogan versus King Kong Bundy. Hogan won, obviously. The first match, Hogan and Mr. T won. Hogan was the original Mr. WrestleMania. He wrestled in the first 9 of them, and I think he won all of them. I actually gave those matches, if you look at today's standards, the way I rate matches, probably 1.5 stars, maybe 2 stars. Number 32 on the list, from what it meant to wrestling at that time, to rewatching it a couple years ago, the transition was still there, but you look at it now going, oh shit. It was WrestleMania 3, Hulk Hogan, Andre. We all know the story there. We all know how Hogan slammed Andre, and Andre's talked to Hogan, in the ring. But, it's your time, I'm passing the torch to you, basically. Andre was undefeated at that time. Andre was having health issues. What made this today's wrestling, we look back so iconic on that match. And what that match meant and everything. 1 year later, Hogan and Andre had a match as well. In a tournament at WrestleMania 4. Which ended up in double count, I believe it was. Andre ended up winning the title from Hogan later on, and then because of the help of Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, and had to vacate it because they paid the referee off. It was just some of the storylines back then. I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, I mean, we look at that match so iconic. It was probably match quality wise, star and a half, 2-star at the very, very most. Now, starting with number 31 on the list, I have more defining rankings for him. Anywhere from 2 to 4 3/4. Number 31 on the list actually comes from WrestleMania 11. We had Lawrence Taylor versus Bam Bam Bigelow, main event at WrestleMania. Why? At that time, why? Lawrence Taylor was hot. I don't know, I haven't really watched some of the Saturday night stuff to see the build up to this. I've just seen the match itself. Taylor ended up winning. I gave it 2-star. I mean, it was watchable. Number 30 on the list comes from WrestleMania 8, Hulk Hogan versus Psycho Sid Vicious. With Hogan getting the victory there, I gave it 2-star. Number 29 comes from WrestleMania 13 for the WWF title, with The Undertaker coming in versus Psycho Sid, who was champion. Taker got his first title here. I gave it 2-star. It was alright. Next up, we had number 28 on the list. A little more recent WrestleMania, WrestleMania 34. For the Universal title, champion Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. The Pauls family ended up leaving this match. It was that bad. Plus we'd been there for 7 fucking hours at the time. The marathon was done. We were done. The crowd was done. We were like, just fuck this shit. This match isn't good. Isn't worth staying and watching. And we made a decision. And life's about choices. We made a choice to leave. Do we look back now, almost a year later? Do we regret that choice? Some may, some may not. Did it hurt our WrestleMania experience? It's my 3rd WrestleMania. I don't think it hurt the experience. I think if this match would have been good or something would have happened, yeah, you could look back and damn, I wish I'd have been there. But that match, Lesnar winning, that match in general was never a moment going, oh my God, I wish I was there. Those moments are WrestleMania 30, Daniel Bryan winning the world title. I was there. Daniel Bryan, beating Triple H at the beginning of that show. WrestleMania 25, when Undertaker and Shawn. Yeah, WrestleMania 30, when Taker lost. I was in the building when Taker lost. I mean, those are moments that you look back on, like, my God, I was there. When Kane debuted, if you would have been there for that one, oh my God, I was there when Kane, this wasn't a match that, mattered, really. I ended up giving it 2 1/4. I rewatched it when I got home, and it was still just garbage. Number 27 on the list comes from WrestleMania 7 for the WWF title. Hulk Hogan versus Sergeant Slaughter. Hogan taking the title from Sergeant Slaughter here. I give it 2 1/4. Number 26 comes from WrestleMania 10 WWF title. We had Bret Hart versus Yokozuna. Yokozuna was champion going in. Bret won the title. I gave it 2 1/4. Number 25 on the list comes from WrestleMania 27. It was for the WWE title, no disqualification. The Miz versus John Cena. 8 years ago, The Miz was main eventing WrestleMania. Yeah. That's kind of like when you shit this big turd out and you admire it, take pictures of it, and you think it's the greatest thing ever. And then a year or so later, you shit a bigger turd out that looks better, and you're like, oh my God, let's get rid of that turd and get this turd. That's about where The Miz was then. Nowadays, yeah, Miz won that. I gave it 2 1/2. Nowadays, Miz, yeah, he's comical, he's funny, he is what he is. He's not in the world title picture. He's just there. I kind of like the storyline what they've done with Miz and Shane, so I kind of get it there. But number 24 on the list. If you look at main events as the last match on the show, no matter how long it is, no matter what it is, technically this was not the main event of WrestleMania 9. Now, if you look at matches that are the end of a card, and there is, say, a Money in the Bank cash-in or something like that that lasts 21 seconds, and you consider, basically what happened was WrestleMania 9, WWF title line, Yokozuna versus Bret Hart. Yokozuna gets the win. Pins Bret Hart. 1, 2, 3. Crowd's leaving. Show's over. Have a great time. Thanks for coming. At in Vegas at the Caesar Palace. It was outside. Hogan comes out, challenging Yokozuna to a match. I can beat you, Yokozuna. I can beat you. Yokozuna's handler's like, you think you can beat me? Do it now. Impromptu match. Leg drop, bam, boom, done. Body slam, leg drop, done. 1, 2, 3. 21 seconds later, Hulk Hogan is World Heavyweight Champion. Not considered at the main. To me, this was the main event. Yokozuna and Bret Hart. I would give it 2 3/4. Yokozuna won. So you know, just like it was a Money in the Bank cash in. Is that really the main event, or was the main event the match that before you cashed it? You know, to each their own. Otherwise, it would have been like the bottom of the list, and this match wasn't actually horrible. Yokozuna can do a little bit, especially when you're in there with one of the best in the world, Bret Hart. All right, number 23 on the list, coming from WrestleMania 33, no holds barred, Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker. This match, looking back, that moment, watching it live, it was like, wow, yeah, this is kind of neat here. You knew Roman Reigns was going to get over. Watching the end of that match, Taker taking his coat off, his hat off, sitting in the middle of the ring. Oh my God, this is the end of The Undertaker. Undertaker walking up to the ring, going like this and just going down. Oh my God, this is the end of The Undertaker. Well, WWE likes to overbook and fuck everything up, and it wasn't the end of The Undertaker. And now The Undertaker has 2 losses at WrestleMania, and this match was 2 3/4 star. And Roman Reigns ended up getting cancer, leaving, coming back, and thank God he's not main event in WrestleMania again. Hey, I'm glad you're back, Roman. Yeah, it was an emotional night back in October when you almost made me cry, and I'm not really a huge fan of yours, but yeah, that was great. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're healthy. Next up, 22 on the list comes from WrestleMania 5. WWE title on the line. Hulk Hogan versus Randy Macho Man Savage. Savage at this point had held the title for a year. To the date, almost a year. He won it at WrestleMania 4, and he lost it here at WrestleMania 5 to Hulk Hogan. I gave it 2 3/4 star. 21 on the list comes from WrestleMania 25. As they're live, Triple H versus Randy Orton. I guess because I watched it later, it was a good match then, but I've watched it years later, and the way I look at matches now may be a little different. I gave this match 2 3/4 star. It was alright. It wasn't spectacular by no means. Tripp got the retain. Big bam boom. My favorite moment was there. I was taking pictures, and this douchebag in front of me stood up where the entrance is. We were back a little bit from the ramp there and from the entrance, and Tripp was standing there posing with the title. I was trying to take the pictures, and this fucking douchebag in front of me, J-Man knows that, remembers this. That douchebag in front of me kept standing up holding his fucking title up to Tripp, like, Tripp, I got a title! You gonna do title for title? And I'm like, fuck. And J-Man was like, did you get pictures? Like, yeah, I took 2 pictures and said, fuck it. Here's this douchebag taking me my way. But, I'm sorry, but if you're fans, don't take your fucking titles to the show and hold them up like you're a fucking champion as well. Because, dude, if you are watching this and you know who you are, don't take your fucking title to the show because Triple H would fucking murder you if you did title versus title. It's like, dude, I got title too. I paid $250 for mine. But yeah, Tripp winning that, I give it 2 3/4. Next up, number 20 on the list comes from WrestleMania 4. WWE title. This time it was a vacant title. Yeah, it was a vacant title because of what happened with Hogan and DiBiase and Andre, where Andre forfeited the title. They had a tournament at WrestleMania 4. The finals of the tournament was Savage, Randy Macho Man Savage versus Ted DiBiase Sr., the $1 Million Man, who caused all the controversy. It was kind of cool. Savage ended up getting the victory there, like I said. Held it for a year, lost it to Hogan the next year. I gave it 2 3/4. It was really good match for Savage. DiBiase was not right in the ring competitor. He was better as a manager. Number 19 comes from WrestleMania 24, World Title, Batista versus Tripp. I don't know why we have to see this rematch 11 years fucking later. But Dave got the victory there, took the title from Tripp in a 3-star match. Next up, number 18 on the list comes from WrestleMania 2000, aka WrestleMania 16. It was a 4-way for the WWF title. It was champion Triple H versus Mick Foley versus The Big Show versus The Rock. Tripp ended up getting the victory there, retaining his title. I gave it 3-star. Number 17 on the list comes from WrestleMania 32, WWE title. Roman Reigns going up against Triple H. As you remember, back then, Tripp won the Rumble, which was for the title. Roman got his rematch here. Roman won the title, just Tripp trying to put over Roman. So now we had Tripp put over Roman in WrestleMania 32. Randy put over Roman, or Undertaker put over Roman at WrestleMania 33. WrestleMania 31 was Roman and Lesnar, but Seth cashed in. WrestleMania 34 was Roman and Brock, and Brock won. Yeah, those are all the main events. 31, 32, 33, 34 straight main events for Roman Reigns. And it took him having a life-threatening disease and leaving WWE and coming back for him to get over. They should have done that storyline years ago. So I gave that match 3 1/4. Roman got the victory there. So WrestleMania number 16 on the list comes from WrestleMania 18, which was Triple H versus Y2J Chris Jericho. Tripp winning the title from Jericho there in a 3 1/4 star match. Number 15 comes from WrestleMania 14. WWF title line with Stone Cold Steve Austin versus the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. Stone Cold winning the title from the Heartbreak Kid there. I gave it 3.5. It was a pretty good match. It was kind of the beginning of the Stone Cold era. And that's one name that you're going to see during the next few matches. You're going to hear a lot of is Shawn Michaels. So yeah, as I get to the top 10 especially, you're going to hear a lot more of that name. Number 14 on the list comes from WrestleMania 29. Once in a lifetime. Happened the year before. This was twice in a lifetime for the WWE title, which is so fucking stupid. Why we had to pimp the fuck out of the one before. Once in a lifetime, John Cena versus The Rock. Oh my god, they're both movie stars, they're wrestling WWE, yay! Well, let's redo it 1 year later. But when we redo it 1 year later, let's put a title on it. How do we put a title on it? Oh, let's have The Rock fuck over CM Punk at WrestleMania. That's the best way to do it, and in the 434-day title streak. So anyway, WrestleMania 29, WWE title, John Cena versus The Rock. John Cena winning the title from The Rock, like we have to put him over more. I give it 3.5. Number 13 on the list comes from WrestleMania 15. WWF title line, Stone Cold versus The Rock. The beginning of a 4-year run, WrestleMania 15 through 19, Stone Cold versus The Rock. The height of that feud, 15, 17, 19. Stone Cold getting the victory here. 3.5 stars. Great match. Next up, we got WrestleMania 22 WWE title. We had champion John Cena versus Triple H. John Cena getting the victory. I gave it 3 3/3. Really good match. Cena getting the victory there. Kind of the era of Cena being the main event guy. Next up, number 11 on the list, we go all the way back to WrestleMania 6. Title versus title. The WWF Championship versus the Intercontinental Championship. Hulk Hogan, World Champion. The Ultimate Warrior, the IC Champion, Intercontinental Champion. Winner take all. The first time ever, a World Champion and a Intercontinental Champion together at the same time. The Ultimate Warrior beat Hogan. 3 3/4 star. Went on to be a great champion, future Hall of Famer. Number 10, WrestleMania 28. Once in a lifetime, The Rock versus John Cena. The Rock ended up getting the victory. I did give it 3 3/4 star. It was actually a pretty good match. Number 9 on the list comes from WrestleMania 23, WWE title, John Cena versus Shawn Michaels. Cena getting the victory, I gave it 4-star. Next up, WrestleMania 24, World title, The Undertaker versus Edge. This match, if you look at what WWE does on booking, how WWE does things, The Undertaker had an undefeated streak. I think he was 11 or 12-0. Edge was like 7-0. You could have easily turned Taker's streak into Edge's streak and shot Edge out. He was 10-time world champion eventually. You didn't have to shoot him up. He was a Hall of Famer anyway. But you could have really just kind of transitioned right there. And you definitely, what WWE could have done, obviously hindsight's 2020. You wanted to build Taker's streak up because he had it going on. Everybody knew about, no one really knew about Edge's streak here. Taker getting a victory. I gave it 4.25. It was one of my favorite matches. Always going to be one of the best matches in WrestleMania. Number 7 comes from WrestleMania 19 for the WWE title. From the way I shit on Brock Lesnar, for me to say he had the 7th best main event in WrestleMania history versus Kurt Angle, but, this is WrestleMania 19. Do the math, folks. That was a long fucking time ago. That was what, 16 years ago. That's when Brock could wrestle. When Brock Lesnar does a fucking moonsault and Gander kills himself. Yeah, and against the Olympic gold medalist and in his prime, match was great. 4.25, Brock getting the victory. Next up, number 6 comes from WrestleMania 12, WWF title line, 60-minute Iron Man match, Shawn and Brett. I ended up giving it 4.25. It told a story. It was I'm a sucker for a good story. I'm a sucker for, the whole build-up to this and everything, and how Shawn, boyhood dream was to be WWF World Champion, and he fought so hard, and here he's beating the best ever, best there was, best there is, best there ever will be in Bret Hart. Despite years later, the Montreal Screwdriver and everything, this match here, I thought it was really good, 4.25. I mean, there was boring parts to it. You get a 60-minute match, there's boring parts to it. Hell, in Ring of Honor 17th anniversary show, Jay Lethal and Matt Taven had a 60-minute draw. You didn't know it was going 60. This match you knew was going 60, but that one you didn't know it was going 60 and it had boring parts to it. So, Shawn getting the victory there, 4.25. Number 5 on the list comes from WrestleMania 31, main event, champion Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. And then Seth freaking Rollins saved us and cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase. Match was good. The match went great. Seth cashing in. Curb stomp. 1, 2, 3. We have a new world champion. 4.5 star. Seth freaking Rollins, baby. Number 4 on the list comes from WrestleMania 30, WWE title, triple threat match. Daniel Bryan versus Batista versus Randy Orton, who was champion going in. The WrestleMania 30 show started with Daniel Bryan versus Triple H. Winner goes to the main event. Okay, so you thought, okay, Tripp's going to win this. They're going to have an Evolution main event, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. Dave returned at Rumble, won the Rumble to get here. Okay, fine, whatever. When Daniel Bryan won that opening match, we all turned to each other, the Pulse family, and goes, oh my God, Daniel Bryan's won the world title tonight. Because he knew. He just fucking knew. And when you follow somebody like a Seth Rollins, like a Daniel Bryan, and you know what they have done in Ring of Honor, when Bryan Danielson versus Tyler Black, I have a DVD of them not only teaming together, but wrestling each other. Daniel Bryan did a leap off the top rope. He landed in row 6. It's a gymnasium, yeah, but that's where some of the best wrestling is. So it's like, and to see Daniel Bryan follow, do that, win the world title, kind of following in Punk's footsteps, and then having Seth Rollins do it a year later, it's like, oh my God. Such a memorable moment. That's those moments you talk wrestling. I was there when that happened. Number 3 on the list comes from WrestleMania 17, WWF title, no disqualification, Stone Cold versus The Rock. Rock's champion going in, Stone Cold getting the victory. Oh, by the way, I give the other two 4.5. I give this one 4.5 as well. Now, the two best matches in main event WrestleMania main event history. Number 2. Every time I talk about this wrestler, I always have to throw this disclaimer out there. I don't condone what he did when he was outside the ring. I don't condone what he had done when he killed his family. I'm only speaking of Chris Benoit, the ability he had in that ring, and what he did in the ring. The main event at WrestleMania 20, WWE World Title, Triple Threat, Chris Benoit versus Shawn Michaels versus champion Triple H. One of the best matches of all time I've ever watched. Chris Benoit getting the victory, 4 3/4, becoming world champion. Eddie Guerrero also becoming world champion that day. And them two celebrating at the end. As they were cruiserweights in WCW, now they are world champions in WWE. That's the Chris Benoit that I talk about in these videos. That's the Chris Benoit that you may see a lot of his name brought up on Robert Sports Show on top 10 videos or rankings like this. Again, I don't condone what happened outside the ring. I don't condone what he had done. It was horrible. Just like everyone else in the world, I was shocked when I first heard. I watched the Raw, and then we found out the details later. Next up, the greatest main event in WrestleMania history. If you've seen Robert Sports Show, I've talked about this match. I've talked about part 1 of this match and part 2. If you watch the best of WrestleMania matches, this match is obviously on there. WrestleMania 26, The Streak versus Career, The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. Obviously, we all know now Taker won. Yes, it was a replay of WrestleMania 25. I give them both 4 3/4 star. This was the main event. That wasn't. I personally, during this match, thought at one time, Shawn could win this. Shawn could win this. At WrestleMania 25, me and J-Man were there. We had signs. He had one that was a heartbroken, and it said Streak Break Kid 17-0. Yeah, because it broke the Heartbreak Kid was broken because he couldn't beat Taker. This is at 25, so before the match even happened, we kind of knew the outcome, what we thought. I had a sign that said Shawn Michaels top, and it said Best in the World, Mr. Main Event, Mr. WrestleMania, Streak Breaker. Had a check mark by the other ones because those are his monikers. Streak Breaker, that box was empty. On Raw and SmackDown, the lead up to Mania 26, WWE showed these signs on Raw. It zoomed in on them. You can see me and J-Man. And it's like, holy shit, that's cool. We had him saved on our DVR. He ended up, his DVR broke and he lost it. I accidentally deleted mine. We've spent hours upon hours during the last 9 years. I have, at least. I don't know about J-Man. Going through the WWE Network and Raw and SmackDown trying to fucking find this image. I'm going to find it. It's going to be on the network. But yeah, Taker winning. For a very short moment there, I thought Shawn would win. I gave it 4 3/4. Up until January of 2018, I never really gave a match officially 5-star. First match I ever went, that's a 5-star match. Andrade Cien Almas versus Johnny Gargano at TakeOver Philadelphia. Since then, I've given out a few 5-star matches. I will never go above 5-star. So when I rate these matches, I rate them anywhere between 1 and 5. If it's a match that, 2 seconds long, it's a squash, 1. As the match goes on, if it's a 5-minute match, but it's, for example, there's a 10-minute match with AAW Pro, The Last Stand, it was their January show, was LAX versus Lucha Brothers. We've all seen this match in multiple companies now. LAX versus the Lucha Brothers. Ray Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. Match is going to be good. You know it's going to be good. It was 10 minutes long. I gave it 4-star. It was just 10 minutes of... Oh, okay. I mean, I won't give a match 5-star one of the requirements, that's going to be 20 minutes long or more. If it's a 19-minute match and it's been just stunningly crazy, 4 and 3 is how that fucker's getting. Not going to 5. Just this is the way I rate matches. I mean, everyone's different. And the way I've talked about on here before is, with pro wrestling, it is 85% personal and 15% fact. What I mean by that, 2 people can watch the same match and have completely 2 different opinions about it, which is fine. I want people to comment and say, dude, you're fucking wrong, these rankings are wrong. This is what it should be, because that's your opinion. I want to hear your opinions. I love that. J-Man and I do that all the time. There's 2 matches in particular. Turning Point, 09. Unbreakable, 07. Unbreakable was main event triple threat. X Division title. This is TNA. AJ versus Joe. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe versus Christopher Daniels. For the X title, main event. Turning Point was for the world title, main event, AJ Joe Daniels. I like Turning Point. He likes Unbreakable. We argue. We agree to disagree. Because we both know both matches were great. So everybody's opinion matters. If you got an opinion on these rankings, please comment below. I want to hear it. As always, thanks for watching the Robert Sports Show. As we get to the main WrestleMania weekend, there are 31 or 2, maybe 33 shows in New York City area between today, which is Thursday, between today and Sunday. I'm going to watch a lot of them. Not the next 4 days. I wish I could. I wish I could non-stop binge watch wrestling for 4 days. That would be great. But it's going to be over time. The only ones that I hope to watch and get videos up Monday would be Ring of Honor, NXT, and Mania. Those videos should be up hopefully on Monday. I'll finish watching everything and get it up. As for Impact and all the other shows, we'll do a few previews. But all the reviews will be up as I watch them. Matter of fact, I may just do a review for every show that happened WrestleMania weekend that I watch over on Fight TV over the next 2 weeks. There's like 33 shows. It's going to take me a while to watch them all. Alright, I want to get out of here. As always, thanks for watching the Robert Sports Show. And don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content. Hey, did you all hear? Good old JR, Jim Ross, signed with AEW. He's going to be head commentator. Can't wait. All In. All In 2's coming. Double or Nothing in May 25th. You'll see a preview and a review right here on Robert Sports Show.